Today we've got a story called Harriet, You'll Drive Me Wild, about a little girl named Harriet who just keeps making messes. And her mom tries not to yell at her, but her mom gets so frustrated she yells, and that hurts Harriet's feelings. But let's see what happens. Harriet, you'll drive me wild. This is written by Mem Fox and illustrated by the pictures by Marla Frazee. There's Mom drinking her coffee and looking at the newspaper. Harriet Harris was a pesky child. She didn't mean to be, she just was. Look at that, she's bothering the dog. She's blowing her horn. Bang! The dog says, "What are you doing?" One morning at breakfast, she knocked over a glass of juice. Just like that. Why do you think she knocked over the juice? Yeah, look at, she's turned upside down with her legs up on the table, knocked it over. Where did the juice go? Yeah, right on the dog's back. Her mother didn't like to yell, so instead she said, "Harriet, my darling child." "I'm sorry," said Harriet, and she was sorry. She just wasn't paying attention. At snack time, she dribbled jam all over her jeans, just like that. Oh, who's she feeding jam to? Yeah, the puppy gets a little jam, but look at, she knocked over the cereal. She's got the cookies open. She's made a big mess, and look at Mom. Harriet. Her mother didn't like to yell, so instead she said, "Harriet, my darling child. Harriet, you'll drive me wild." "I'm sorry," said Harriet, and she was. Gonna have to put those clothes in the washing machine, huh? Before lunch, when Harriet was painting a picture, she dripped paint onto the carpet, just like that. Okay, she just wanted to show her mom she painted, but then she held it up. Remember, when you finish your artwork, you have to carry it flat over to the drying rack to let it dry. But Harriet picked it up, didn't hold it flat, and look, all the paint's dripping down on the carpet. Mom says, "Oh, Harriet." Her mother didn't like to yell, so instead she said, "Harriet, my darling child. Harriet, you'll drive me wild. Harriet, sweetheart, what are we to do?" "I'm sorry," said Harriet, and she was. Was she trying to drip that paint? No. She just needs to be careful what she's doing. At lunch, Harriet slid off her chair and the tablecloth came with her, just like that. Oh my goodness, look at, when she slid off her chair, she slid down and she was holding onto the tablecloth, pulled that off, and the food's coming and the vase with the flowers coming off. Mom's trying to grab it, says, "Oh, Harriet!" Oh, look at, the plates breaking, cups spilling with the milk. Looks like Harriet ran up and jumped on her bed and put a pillow over her head. But her mother didn't like to yell, so instead she said, "Harriet, my darling child. Harriet, you'll drive me wild. Harriet, sweetheart, what are we to do?" "Harriet Harris, I'm talking to you." "I'm sorry," said Harriet, and she was. Later that afternoon, when Harriet was meant to be napping, she ripped open a pillow just like that. Uh-oh, look at, she was playing with the dog with the pillow, and the dog pulled it, and Harriet pulled it in the other direction. It tore open. Remember, some pillows have feathers inside. 1,000 feathers flew in every direction. Uh-oh. I don't know if you can see her. Mom's right there in the other room. Uh-oh. There was a terrible silence. Mom said, I don't know what happened. Uh-oh. Then Harriet's mother began to yell. She yelled and yelled and yelled. She was pretty upset. Harriet kept making messes. I'm sorry, cried Harriet. I really, really, really am sorry. Her mother took a deep breath. I know you are, she said, hugging Harriet tight. I'm sorry too. I shouldn't have yelled and I wish I hadn't, but sometimes it happens. Just like that. Sometimes you just get so upset and you yell or you scream. Big mess, said Harriet. A very big mess, said her mother, and she started to laugh. Look at the puppy. He likes the feathers. And they're all stuck in Harriet's hair. And they laughed and laughed and went on laughing as they picked up the feathers together. And there's the puppy taking a little nap on a pillow. That's the end.